What's up, everybody? My name is Ray Taylor, and this is Early Retirement Vlog. In this episode, I'm going to discuss uh, cable cutting. Back in 2006 or 7 ish, uh, was around the time I moved. I stopped having roommates, got my own apartment, and prior to that, had DirecTV. And didn't want to get TV. It was a distraction. I wanted to try and read more and all that kind of stuff. And so I didn't get cable, and I didn't want to spend the money on it. Just wanted to get internet, and I knew you could get stuff. I knew I could download movies, and I was buying a lot of DVDs. I had a pretty big DVD collection at the time. But there was no Netflix, there was no Hulu, there was no YouTube. Wasn't even what it is today. Like now, back then, YouTube was like 10 to like 15-minute clips, and now you can do 24-hour whatever video file you can edit as large as you can and upload it. They'll accept it, I think. Um, so back then there was nothing, no options. That's when I got into podcasts, and the podcasts I got into were video podcasts, Dignation, Totally Rad Show, all the Revision 3 shows basically, and then Leo Laporte, stuff like that. So that's how I got into podcasts, just as a form of some kind of entertainment. You could subscribe to it through iTunes. Because this is still way before YouTube. So the only way to get that, you could torrent it, you could go to their website, or you could subscribe on iTunes through the podcasting thing, and then they would somehow host it. I don't know how they paid for that. But yeah, so that was early cord cutting days. Now Netflix is a thing. I mean, Netflix was around then, but Netflix was DVDs through mail only. There was no streaming services of any kind back then. But then Netflix started streaming, then Hulu came out, and then Amazon and Apple, and then everybody kind of offered different streaming packages. So now you can get most new TVs have built in, like their smart TVs. That's what a smart TV would be. Is a TV with apps like a phone. So you can access like Amazon streaming or Netflix or even Fight Pass, UFC Fight Pass, or other sports that you might be into. Um, so what I do, I'm going to talk about. I just got the Amazon Fire Stick, a hacked version, which I got just for purposes to review only. So I've been using it, testing it out pretty vigorously the past week, in anticipation to tell you people about the Amazon Fire Stick. But before I get to that, primarily what I use is Apple TV because I have an iPhone and I'm able to shoot video from my phone. There's a lot of instances where I pull up Fight Pass on my phone and I'll shoot it over to the TV, and it just becomes easier. There's some things you can do, um, like with a little Fight Pass. If you have Fight Pass, a little trick that I've heard of is if you get a VPN, you can connect to other countries and get access. Like if you don't have cable, I don't have cable. So to watch the FS1 and the Fox cards and all that stuff, I have to use the Fight Pass app. But the Fight Pass app is blacked out in the U.S. So one of the options that I've heard is possible is getting a VPN. You could go like say Singapore or South Korea or something like that, and or Ireland or wherever. You connect to another place where maybe it's streaming for free, and you're still connecting. I still pay for my Fight Pass app. It's just I'm getting around some stupid regional blacked out thing just because I don't want to pay for cable. Um, and then I have Netflix. I have the HBO app. Not a fan of Hulu. Just not a fan of ads in general. Watching ads. So and I'm not used to it because I haven't had cable since 2006. And I never got into Hulu. YouTube just past few years started putting ads on. But thankfully, you can skip them. They're not like mid-show ads. But yeah, so that's how I've been consuming with the Apple TV and the typical apps, the streaming apps. Also with Amazon, let's say the Amazon app. There's not an Amazon app, not that I think of. I have the older version of Apple TV in my room, and in the living room, there's the newer Apple TV. I don't believe there's an Amazon app yet, but you can run the app on your phone and then shoot the video over to your Apple TV. So if you have Amazon Prime, it gives you a bunch of movies and TV shows and all that kind of stuff. Um, which also the Fire Stick will give you. So the Fire Stick is Amazon's version of an Apple TV or a Chromecast. So it's made by Amazon, so it has the Amazon streaming movies and TV shows that you get with Prime. All that stuff's like front and center. You can subscribe, you can install apps, just like the Apple TV. So you can install, they have the Fight Pass app, Netflix, Hulu, all the different sports, all the major apps. I'm sure looked like they had all the major apps. So the only difference is with getting this hacked version is that there's a couple apps installed that allow you to access content, alternative content. Well, not alternative. It's all mainstream content, but in an alternative way. So if you've ever, like, if you're used to or ever in the past have ever BitTorrented or done any Pirate Bay action, usually when you get, so if you're downloading like a movie or something like that, it'll show the quality. And there'll be different, as far as bootlegs go, the hierarchy of bootlegs, the worst people still have cameras in movie theaters. Then sometimes you'll get rips from other countries, so you'll have like Korean subtitles or some other language subtitles where maybe the movie was released early, so they got a DVD rip of it early. Then there's the screener rip where it's good quality, but sometimes the picture may go black and white, or there may be a screener warning because people aren't supposed to get rid of, give screeners out. Usually you'll find the screeners more around the end of the year, beginning of the year for all the Oscar movies, the nominated movies of the year. You'll find a lot of that. And then once the movie's out in any form, they can just rip it. So you'll get 1080 tends to be kind of the highest resolution that I've seen. I haven't seen anything 4K yet, but I'm sure there's. So if you're used to downloading movies or ever have or know somebody that has, and you've seen the different quality, you've been over to a friend's house and you see like this horrible quality of like, oh, I got this movie that's still in theaters already, but it's this horrible, like, you're looking at it from an angle, the sound's horrible because it's just somebody with a camcorder inside a theater. So if you're used to that, that's kind of how these apps will work. It kind of gives you streaming capability of that content, that type of content, as well as if you've ever tried to watch like a pay-per-view event, like a UFC event, and you go to a streaming site, which you end up getting a lot of pop-ups and it usually never works well and it's a horrible stream. But you'll be able to stream live sports. So there's another app that gives you more of the live TV aspect of it. So getting into it, the main app is called Kodi. The two apps that are installed are called Kodi, Kodi, and the other one is Mobdro, Mobdro. Mobdro is basically live TV. So you bring it up and you'll see different channel networks like ABC, NBC, TBS, USA, whatever the difference. It doesn't have all the channels, but it reminds me of like a hotel or a motel, like their selection. Like they'll have 10 channels and it'll be kind of most of the major channels. And it's just free streaming TV, so you're getting commercials. It's like getting free cable, but it's still streaming TV. It's not on-demand content, which that's what I've gotten used to. So I really don't care about even testing the Mobdro out. I did try it out. The stream came in good. It's not like super high quality, but it's like it's really reminds me of like going to a motel because a lot of those channels aren't the greatest quality there either. So, and the main app, Kodi, you run that app, and then there's apps within the app. There's like Phoenix, Exodus, and another one that's for live streaming sports. I haven't tested out the live streaming sports. It seems to connect you to the same sites that would have you would have gotten the streams before through like websites. So I'm sure it cuts out, like, you don't have to worry about pop-ups and stuff like that. I'm sure the stream is actually, because of that, better quality because it's not clogging up your bandwidth. But in general, I've noticed I mean, I haven't, it's been so long since I've even gone to those sites because I buy the UFC events now, and watch everything off the app. So tends to be HD. But I remember back then it was a mixed bag. It was so frustrating. So if you want to see live pay-per-view events, I'm sure it works. It's not going to be the best quality, but it's free. So if there's some, like Bellator's going to charge for a pay-per-view fight, they're going to try and do that model again. And it's going to be a New York Madison Square Garden event. Usually, maybe if you're a Bellator fan, they usually have their stuff on free TV, on Spike TV, so asking you to pay for a Bellator. If I was a Bellator fan, I'd probably stream it. I'm not a big Bellator fan, so I might check it out. Maybe I'll test out that one app inside Kodi. I forget what it's called. It's called like Mean Dog or something like that. And then the other two apps pretty much do the same thing. They'll give you access to TV shows and movies, so like on-demand style. And Exodus seems to have more of a selection than the other one, Phoenix, I think it was called. Both they categorize stuff, they organize stuff based on genre. You can search based on, I believe, actor. You can search based on year released. Or you can just search. And I tried to find, I mean, there's stuff available that's in theaters now, but a lot of the stuff that's in theaters now is horrible quality. So I didn't really check out any movies that are currently in the theater. I checked out some stuff that was 1080, and it streamed good. There was no problem streaming, never dropped the stream. For the most part, the user interface for running the apps and everything is smooth. Loading the content initially takes a while. What it seems like it's doing is it's searching all these different sites that stream movies, and finding the ones that are the most reliable, and then it brings up a list where it'll list the different files, and at the end it'll be like, whatever the movie title is, 1080p, and then it'll be like 1080p, 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 and then it'll get to HD, 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 and then it'll be like cam. So for me, if it's a movie and it doesn't say 1080p, it's probably horrible, and it usually takes a while once you do it. Everything has to load, so it doesn't start the stream as fast as an actual streaming service would. But it gives you connected to all this different content. For a cable cutter, I mean, the price ranges on these hacked Fire Sticks. They plug into your HDMI port on your TV, and it's powered by a USB cable, and it comes with a power adapter, or a lot of new TVs have USB power on the back of the TV. So if I was somebody, like, if I didn't already have Netflix and wasn't paying for all these services that I enjoy, that give me good quality service, and I don't have to be worried about getting arrested or sued or anything like that. If I was somebody trying to save some money, and you want some free TV, you want access to, I mean, it's basically everything, all the major stuff that I saw that's on Netflix is on there, all the Netflix shows are on there, all the Amazon Prime shows are on there. All the exclusive content on all these different platforms is all available. So it's nice. So technically, you can avoid getting all HBO, all of those apps, and get this. The downside is the direction our country's going. The fact that there's a bill that was just passed, so companies can now profit off of your internet usage. I don't know how much protection is on this Kodi device, because it seems to be drawing from the same places you would get, potentially anything technically illegal. Um, for me, streaming movies, like if I didn't, like I watched Deepwater Horizon. Not a movie that I had any desire to see. If it showed up on Netflix or HBO, I probably would have watched it just because Mark Wahlberg can be entertaining. Just kind of a dumb action movie, but with good special effects and good, he's like a little bit better than Michael Bay, the director of, which I can't think of his name, but he's doing a bunch of, he does a bunch with Mark Wahlberg. So like that movie, I didn't go to the theater. I had no desire to pay to go to a theater. I'm not gonna buy the movie. I don't want to own it. I'm not gonna rent it. I don't want it enough to rent it. $3-4 rental fee from, iTunes or Amazon, unless there's a deal. But even still, the only reason I would watch it is if it showed up on HBO or something, which it probably will. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. And then I'm basically watching it, streaming it there, and I'm paying Netflix, and they're getting a cut for Netflix. They're not losing any money for me streaming it. But, the direction companies want to make every single amount of profit they can from the American people and try to pay as little of it to the artists. But if it's a movie, like if I did love Deepwater Horizon, it became my new favorite movie, I would probably end up buying it. I'll buy it on iTunes. I buy movies. So, if it's something good that I want to see, it's not like I'm just going to keep streaming it through this thing. But yeah, so that's the hacked Fire Stick. Now there's other hacked Fire Sticks. Oh yeah, the price. I saw it's like around $70-$80 on eBay to get it pre-packaged. It comes in the original packaging, the guy that I got it from. Original packaging. Just had a little. This guy must work in returns or have worked in like refurbished stuff because it had like, kind of a retail kind of repackaging sticker on it. And you open it up and there's a little slip of paper telling you he has a little tutorial video to walk you through it. So you go type in the URL and it takes you to this video on Google Photos. But yeah, and it works fine. I was a little nervous. I typed in, it was pre-signed in with the Amazon account. So I signed out and signed in with my account. And the apps are still there. Everything seems to work fine. I haven't really used the actual, like I've like Netflix on my TV, my Apple TV, and the Fire Stick. So it's like, I try to go to the one where I like the interface better, which tends to be my TV. And the TV built in the TV, it's 4K, so it's the only way I can get 4K Netflix and 4K HBO is using the apps or Amazon. I forget. Something else has 4K. Anyway, people, so if you're looking that would be my only caveat, is that potential legal trouble. Using it, because I don't know how it all works, but sometimes loopholes get closed up over time and it may not work. Amazon might discover that I have these apps and they made it brick the device. But if you're looking for access to everything and you're trying to save money, try it out. It worked. Hacked Fire Stick. I've hacked the Apple TV before, and it's just never worked well. This works fine. Haven't had any problems with it. Been playing around with it for a week. TV shows, movies, older movies. I mean, it seems like it's got almost everything. Um, so yeah, this the legal thing would be my only worry. So, on that note, experiment at your own risk, but definitely get rid of your cable bill. Cable bills are stupid. Just get a good internet connection and just sign up with You can get if you want to check out Amazon Prime, you can get a free 30-day trial with my code inspireddisorder.com/prime, which is going to give you the streaming content, which they have a deal with HBO, so you get a bunch of HBO stuff, movies. They have their own TV shows, but also you get free shipping and all kinds of other benefits. But that's it, people. Thank you for watching. eBay is where you get the Fire Stick if you want it. I hope I didn't leave any open endings. I feel like I went on some tangents there. But that's it. My name's Ray Taylor. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Ray Taylor. The show, if you prefer to listen to this, I'm starting to release these in audio form on iTunes twice a week. Every Wednesday and Saturday they come out on iTunes. So you can subscribe to Early Retirement on iTunes, subscribe to Early Retirement on YouTube, and go check out inspireddisorder.com for all my artwork and everything that I do. And donate to Patreon, patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Donate $1 a month, $12 a year. Tons of perks if you want to donate more, but please help support me. $12 a year is really not that much, and I want to put out a bunch of content this year, and support would be amazing, so I don't have to beg or suck dicks on the corner for rent money. Anyway, that's it, people. Thank you for watching. Peace!